This video is from Mrs. Gus's VAT class. We're going to go over how to work with Photoshop geometry. So if you're trying to make this project from the beginning, you missed out, or you're trying to make extra, just remember this is a video for how to do that. What we're going to do is open up Photoshop and we're going to create a new file. We're going to go to Photo and make that a default photo size. You can just name it Photoshop Geometry. And we're going to keep it 300 resolution and hit Create. We're going to file place embedded photos that you have gotten in your Google Drive. You pulled them off of Pexels. They work best if they're high quality images. So hopefully they're in a folder, and you're going to double click to pull them in, or click in place, whatever method you want. And remember, you're just going to stretch those so that they fit on the page. You're going to hit Enter to apply, and you're always going to right click and rasterize your layer. And if you want to double click and name it, you can certainly do that. I'm not going to today. You're going to place at least 2 images in there. And I'll do this one. So the assignment for my class is to have at least 2 images and 1 geometric shape. So you've got the 2 images in there. It doesn't really matter which order they're in, although you do need to choose which one is going to have a shape cut into it. I would like a circle cut into my landscape here, so I'm going to have that on top, and I'm going to go to my rectangle tool and hold it down and choose my ellipse tool. Remember, with shapes, if you hold down Shift, you can keep them perfect circles, and that's what I'd like to do. So Control Z. I'm going to go to my Move tool and move that circle around and try to see if I can get it in the center of my canvas. Move this out of the way. If I Control T, I can get some little guide showing me when it's in the center. And I can also size it if I want to make it bigger. Hold down Shift, or smaller. Move that back into the center. And hit Enter to apply. Now when you make a clipping mask, you have to move your photo above your shape. So you can't see the shape, it's just hidden underneath. You're going to right click on your photo layer and create clipping mask. Once that's in there, you can drag the photo around. There's the end of the photo, so that's why it looks like that. So it's just cut in so that you can see just that part of the photo. If you want to change the whole shape, the whole size of the square, and the circle and the photo, you have to hold down Shift and select both layers. See how they're both gray? Then when you Control T, you can change the size of both. So that's an important thing if you're trying to really alter the original shape that you made. So now you can pretty much do whatever it is that you want to do in the examples of Photoshop geometry. Sorry, give me a second here. Extra large. So in the examples here, it got quite complicated with layers of shapes and clipping masks over layers of shapes and clipping masks. Or you can make see-through shapes. You can also do effects. So I'm going to quickly show you how you would do that. We're going to make another circle here. I'm going to move that so it's directly in the middle of this guy. And I'm going to use my eyedropper tool, which is here, and I'm going to click on, I need to change the color of that circle. When I use the eyedropper tool, it doesn't change the color. So what I need to do is double click here, and then I get my color picker, which will change the color. Now I can use the eyedropper out here, so I can create something kind of harmonious. So I'm pulling in a color that I think works with my green circle-ish. I'm going to lower the opacity of that circle so it's a little more see-through, or I can lower the fill of that circle, which will be important for what I'm about to do next. If I double-click on that layer, I get these things called layer styles. I can click here and make a drop shadow. I can click here and make a stroke. So the stroke is a solid white, because here's my color. So again, I can pick from out here if I want to make it harmonious. You can also make it a bigger stroke, not so big stroke. You can lower the opacity of the stroke. So you can play with those. Drop shadow, if I click on that layer, I can change the angle. I can change the intensity, the distance, the spread. So I have all kinds of things that I can change here. And I can change that color again. So I can make it more harmonious that way. So what you were seeing on my more complicated ones is adding shapes and drop shadows and opacities and strokes, and really just playing with geometry. So if I were to click, I don't like that. Change this to an outer glow. I like that better. If I were to click OK and I want to make a duplicate of this ellipse, I can go to the Move tool and I can Alt drag and create another one. So I just have to make sure I'm on the right layer, and then I have duplicates happening. So you can see how you can quickly start adding geometry. So that's the goal for that project, is to play with Photoshop, play with photos, play with clipping masks, play with layer styles, and see what kind of interesting designs you can